who had campaigned for the formation of SARS are coming out to say that they regret forming it. I don't know, man.
Coming out to say that they regret, forming SARS as a unit. Abuja has banned the protest.
Of course.
Hit the driver and left him for dead. All of these negative stories, is it to discountenance? The IGP came out and is it the IGP? I mean, the police came out and says, see, guys, calm down. We're not going to have SARS members become a part of SWAT.
The IGP, which is who is even under fire because there's still the agitation that they want him out, which of course I do not see how that works anyway, and I don't know why he
Never
is the
underestimate
figure.
the
No.
process.
The truth of the matter is that I don't see why he seems to be the only figurehead that they want out of office.
He's in charge of the police. He's in charge of the police.
But he is not in charge of the force, like the whole force, for crying out loud. He's not the only one there. He simply is a figurehead right now and not the man in charge. Like, he's not the boss of the boss.
But look, he is the boss actually. Because wait, calm down.
All right.
You remember how you made reference to Premium Times? The people who formed it, they were police chief they were the police chief at the time.
The IGP does not work in isolation, for crying out loud. He doesn't work in isolation.
I think
there
does.
Are other bodies. What about the Police Trust Fund? What about the CSC? I mean, nobody saw this escalating as much as it is. And I feel the best thing the government can do right now is to try as much as they can to match up to the speed of these protesters, because apparently it's not even going to abate anytime soon.
It's not, because like I already mentioned, 19 other states in the north just joined the protest. They are calling for a no to insecurity, and they say, you know what? You people are suffering from SARS in that part. We are suffering from insecurity. So let's join hands together.
Yesterday, I sort of missed the news with SARS and SWAT, and I'm pretty sure you talked about that.
Of course.
Now, I wish I could
be part of SWAT, even if Nigerians say they disguise.
show the people that there is a structure on ground to make sure that all the faulting and all erring or all ill-trained officers, whether in SWAT, whether in SARS, whether in the police force, whether any other security operative in the country, is being taken care of.
That was my argument yesterday.
I mean, have we seen them
11 feet an order saying, hey guys, we don't protest in Port Harcourt. And legal experts all over Nigeria, even all over the world.
It was a film show.
All right, of course. People, even Kala themselves was on Twitter. That it is the function of the police to make sure that the violent elements are caught and prosecuted, and not to stop protests, because the Constitution...
You get, try as much as you can to give them not just give them the impression, show them that you are working towards all of their demands, and, you're actually taking proactive steps to government have taken to maybe try and defuse. First off, the army is in their own right, to make people on standby just in case this is turning into something else, right? But then again, for me, it's quite inciting. Who knows what ways they've
been diligent and law-abiding and patient enough in society. And if truly you are trying to make amends, government should call the youths, negotiate with them, tell them, give them a timeline, tell them, by this time...
Not just even tell them, maybe give them a timeline. Show them that you are actively working. It's not just cooling off the heat, by calling them or addressing them and saying, you know what, we've heard you, we're going to work on it. So how about showing them that you are actively addressing these issues? I mean, let them see it, because the talk right now is that we've had so many times when the government has tried to, make us understand that they're on it, they're on the matter, they're working on it and all of that, and in no time we find out that nothing or little have been done about that particular situation. So I'm guessing that they're tired of that sing song. They want
PDP. They are saying, things like the Nigeria Police Trust Fund Section 4, subsection 1, that authorizes the president to deduct 0.5% of the total revenue accruing to the federal in the world, world standard. And I'm wondering in my head, does this affect, because when the Police Act was signed into law by the president, a lot of people were hoping that the police would become better. And then we saw the protest, we saw the strike by Nigerian youths, and all of a sudden we saw them running helter-skelter to try to make it work. that anything contrary to the Constitution is null and void. And some of the sections pointed out were contrary to the Constitution. And I'm wondering, the president might have
because I'm looking at the list of the
this really does affect, if it really does affect the police and the restructuring that they are attempting right about now, that the youths are on the street, I beg your pardon. Let's move on to the next one. Omo Agege is complaining and is wondering why Zamfara Gold, and I'm wondering why they call it Zamfara Gold actually, is being sold to the CBN for is the constitutionally what is this people speaking? Is the constitutional owner. You know how mineral resources, according to the constitution, belongs to the federal government.
So I agree with him on that particular one. We don't want a situation where, people start to feel that certain states or certain regions are allowed,
But that's what it's looking like.
Yeah, allowed access to their own resources, while others are, constitutionally belonging to the federal government and all of that. So I do feel, first off, that if the state government, you remember the Zamfara state governor had gone to meet with the president one time, to show him the goals and everything.
2 months ago.
Yes. So I'm thinking that if he has done this, it should be either with the permission of the president, because honestly, I don't see why this is happening right now. I would want to toe the line of
I own a car, and I'll say, Wealth, drive my car for me. Then Wealth now drive round Port Harcourt, now come and say, Kalada, I want to sell your car to you. I mean, it sounds like the SAS and SWAT scene, where it is guys right now. And I'm not understanding it, and it's really, really confusing for me. But really, I'd like to hear from you. Let's take your views right about now. There isn't much to talk about apart from, protest upon protest conversations, and of course, the police act being nullified by the appeal court. And now Omo Agege complaining about the fact that Zamfara State, sold gold to federal government, when federal government, according to the Constitution, is supposed to be the owner, of the gold. And, it brings the question, mining gold, that they are now agreeing to restructure, because the North came out not too long ago and said, let's go back to a 12-state structure.
But what would this mean? Have been constitutionally abiding to the rules of the federal controller of resources. What happens? But it might be a good thing. It might be a good thing. But then I'm thinking that the timing, right? The timing for me might be a bit tacky, because a lot of persons, especially from different regions, would want, first off, for this particular, the North, which has started harnessing its gold, to at least allow the federal government some time to control.
People ask the question, why was gold not captured as a revenue generator in the recent budget? And they answered 2020.
Isn't it? I mean, try to find out where else and, which other states that we can get commercial quantity of those and all of that.
Let's start from there. Let's start from
Let's start from the small quantity we have seen.
After all, oil started from where? It started from Bayelsa. It started from one place, and before we know, we started finding it in other places. So let's start from one place, Olibiri, and we drilled Olibiri dry, and now before you know, we saw oil in several places. So let's drill gold or mine gold dry in Zamfara State. Then
let's drill gold. It is fine. We'll drill it.
I corrected myself. Let's mine gold. But let's open the phone line. Like I said, not much to talk about. Majority of the conversation is centered around protest. Army warning protesters, Abuja banning protesters, and we're wondering if they have the legal right to. Lagos lawmaker warning of a state of emergency. Protesters attacked by hoodlums. We talked about a couple of things. I mean, Keyamo also coming to lament that the protesters cost him his driver. Adebo, forgot to mention Adeboye and Jack. Jack coming out to support. The protest with finances.
That has been the cry of a lot of these protesters, from the very beginning. Some of them still calling out for Jack. I'm guessing that this is just him trying to show support and solidarity. I think
he didn't get it easy. Some APC members were like, we will sue you. We will sue you. We will sue you.
Let's see how that goes anyway.
How dare you? You're trying to break our nation, I think.
The court is open now.
Will you see
It's
Jack?
not by shouting, we will see you.
Where will you see Jack?
It's by taking him to court.
All right, let's put the phone line 0817 000 0951 and 0810. What's happening?
What's that about, really? When
happening?
I saw it, I was like, what is this about, really?
What's happening?
Are we starting from here?
Yeah, I'll be starting from there. But let's find out who's here. 95.1 FM. What's your name? Where are you calling in from?
Hello.
Welcome.
Good afternoon, Canada.
Yes.
My name is Olo Lucky, and I'm calling you from by nature.
Okay.
Now, I want to in line with Nigerian Army. I want to in line with Nigerian Army to like ask them or to charge them to be aware, because the continual protest in this issue, if we are no longer comfortable again, because all the demand has been met. They have disbanded SARS and they are doing reform. Why are you still protesting? And some persons are not going to what we are preventing business. Lagos, they are not going to their normal business. A lot of activities has been on standstill, because you cannot be driving when there is protest, because you don't even know their motive for protesting. You said for disbandment of SARS. Fine, and they are looking into it. Why not calm down? You're still protesting. So I'm charging on President Muhammad Buhari, all the law enforcement agencies in Nigeria to beware, because another thing is going on ground, which might result to revolution.
All right,
which
all right.
we don't want to go into that now.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir.
Did he say he doesn't want to go into a revolution?
He doesn't want to
A lot
revolt.
of people will beg to differ.
95.1 FM.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Well, I think the protest has gone well, but I think it's time for them to put a stop or a form of suspension to it.
Okay.
Because before you know it, it will be hijacked. They've listed some things to be done. This is the first time we have seen the Nigerian government coming out without, the issue of SARS being banned or not. I never supported the issue of SARS being banned. I want a total reform.
Okay.
A total reform of the police, stop the brutality generally. But the protest has gone well, but I think it's time to put a stop to it. It's time for government to, like Canada said, if you want to call people for discussion, who do you want to call? But this is the time government should come with a timeline and say this is what we'll do. It's good to support them, but not to say they should contribute funds. If they're contributing funds from outside the country, from where? That means it has been hijacked. So
okay.
sometimes there have been people contributing funds from outside the country and all that. You can support, it means that it's going somewhere else. I support the protest, but I think it's time to give the government the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
The reform they put forward, let's see how they want to do it. Then we can now say in the next 1 month or two, if you don't do it, then the youth will be back.
I want to, from you, and for the demonstration to continue, what the federal government has made an announcement of disbanding the SARS and also pronouncing what to do for Nigeria to progress, and the people are still there. What did they do again? So my own contribution is this: the constitution of SWAP should not involve any of the personal persons in the SARS. Let them be careful and do it for us. All we need and what we ask for is the character exhibited by humans. Such characters should be dealt with and not the human is there. Because it's still the exhibition of the character that we are talking about. There are a lot of sections of the police, we know. But now a section has brought bad name to the entire police. And that's why people are asking for the reform of police.
All right then.
So, my good sister, let's see what will happen. We thank God for what happened. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. We just went on looking now on social media and everything.
Not we, you. You went looking for protest comments and
No. I it's not like I was deliberately looking
she's
anyway.
She's enjoying the protest actually. I need to blow her cover.
I wonder who isn't.
But
But
go
anyway,
ahead.
I just saw on the cable newspaper now that northern governors opposed the disbandment of SARS, and
That's after meeting with the IGP, I want to believe.
Simon Lalong, Plateau State governor and chairman of the Northern Governors Forum, qualities about SARS. But the thing is, if it has been replaced by SWAT, we're looking at people who would fill in that particular shoes, isn't it?
All right, now.
So why do we still cry foul?
Or better still, we can have SARS in the north
And SWAT
and
every other region.
and a reformed police in the south. I don't know.
I don't know how you. How did you come up with that? 95.1 FM.
Hello, Mr. Kalada. Good afternoon. I'm Sister West. Great to see you guys there in the studio.
Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Yes, my name is Kinsley, calling you from Rumolumini. Yes, my brother, if there is anything that we the youth of this country need to do to put this country in the proper shape, my brother, me personal.
Are you still there?
I think we lost that call now.
My man that will come after this one to begin to do what will better the lives of this country, the lives of the citizens of this country. What is happening in other countries going to happen in this country? Will anybody forbid it? If the social amenity or what as a
Hello. All right.
in this country is a crime. So I support this protest to go on so that the government, whichever is in charge of this government, should know that this is no longer a business as usual. That things are shifted and the shoes.
All right, sorry, we lost you. Everybody
it was
seems
looking like we're going to lose you from the very beginning anyway.
everybody seems to be concentrating on protest. I mean, gold. They are selling gold to federal government. Is somebody not?
Zamfara State, in case you didn't hear that part.
Selling gold. Anyways.
95.1 FM.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. Yeah, I'm Barry from Kasamadi.
Welcome, Barry.
Yeah, the president is speaking about the protest. All the youth have heard. Yeah, we are hearing, we understand what he said, and let it go on. But what they need, and let me tell you, Nigeria is not in good mood, in good way, from education to everything. Let me tell you what they need. Whatever resources Nigeria is using and make money, there should be the industry in Nigeria. There should be the factory in Nigeria. That's what they need. So there will be work. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay. State of emergency 4. Are we in a war situation that will warrant state of emergency until the federal government does what is right to citizens on the issue of police brutality and police extortion? I don't think the youth will rest. This is not PDP or APC matter. This is pure Nigeria matter. No former SARS operative will be part of SWAT. Ha 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 ha. We don't mature. Okay, he said we don't mature for this country. Make person no tell us waiting with Sabi. IGP can tell me that those disbanded exercise restraint so that the process will not be hijacked by criminals and hoodlums. I support the position of Omar Gege vis-a-vis Zamfara Gold. Dauda Angbazu says only protest will trouble the bad government. Dauda from Nasarawa State. All right, thank you. Brown Frank says let every state take what belongs to them. Also, let's stop this second invasion. I'm thinking, do you think the protest is being kicked against now because there is a youth democratic party movement starting? Do you think there is now Mr. President leaders where if it be governors where I mean that song was crazy to
See, the truth is that you cannot narrow this particular protest to one particular demand. It's all the NSAS mantra, but underlying to this is the call for a better Nigeria, isn't it? I see them tweet because they feel that it will be hijacked or the whole motif behind this would be somewhat erased along the line because of how we play dirty in this part of the world. Then I just feel that right now, while the heat is really strong or while the heat is overpowering, the government tries as much as it can to level down on certain things that may cause grievances, especially with this use, so that they can see and end the protest.
All right. This one says, why apply double standards for the non-exploited by the FG? What's good for the geese is also good for the gander. Omar Gege is right. All right.
Starting to become unrealistic and then somewhat unreasonable. They didn't plan the protest and they are becoming, and then the IGP made an announcement. Okay.
No more SARS on the street. No more SARS will only be on a special duties they are called upon. They persisted, and then the IGP came with the announcement that SARS is completely disbanded. They said they needed the president to speak, and the president spoke. They continued. Now they are talking about reform and other things, and the issue is why I said it's unrealistic and somewhat unreasonable. If you're saying you want police reform, is the reform you are seeking for an automatic action? Because reform has to take time, and reform has to take procedures, and reform has to be planned. So instead of them, and then the government have also said we are going to reform, instead of them not taking the opportunities the government has created, because they said it's going to be citizens, the civil societies, and then the government approach. Instead of keying into that, they are still protesting. And the hashtag or the title of your protest is "Answer." Yet you're talking about another thing. And those other things you're talking do not fall in the ambit of police brutality and reforming police. So this is them now giving the government the reason, and they are going to lose sympathy if you continue. Government has said we are going to meet your demand, and now you should now have to go back and see a way to keep in government's plan on how to. And you even have to bring your demand. You even have to make the blueprint of your demand. If you have a demand, you have also left everything on the hands of the government to decide, to design, and to implement.
All right.
So it also means you're still allowing politicians the right and the opportunity to still decide everything for you. Why not key into those avenues that the government have left open?
But Mr. Bright, you're in Nigeria, and you know governments will speak and not act on what they have spoken many a times.
So what happens if the government will speak and not act? What do you now want?
Maybe we keep demanding until we get what we want. I mean, we are the people.
We are going to. You read the statement of the communique of the IGP. Go and check the number 3 and number 4, or number 4 and number 5, where they have said we will allow the citizens the opportunity to participate in the process.
All right.
And if you talk about reforming the police or not allowing those disbanded SARS operatives to be there, Canada, why I tell you it's becoming unreasonable. Who are the SARS? Do you know? So if they even you don't know,
did you not hear that they hacked into the website of the police and got the names of all the SARS officers in Nigeria?
So, fine. How many of them got involved in that brutality?
Interesting.
Is it all the SARS operatives?
Interesting.
Is it all? Are they saying that all the SARS operatives got involved in that operative? Where are your evidence? Now, if you want them prosecuted, are they going to prosecute it without you coming forward to present your case? Are you going to be on the street and the place to say, "Oh, I was assaulted by SARS operatives"? How are you? You are the ones that will come forward to the police and tell the police authorities or the government, whoever committee that is going to be responsible for prosecuting those human rights abuses, that I was abused so and so date.
All right.
So whom are you now? It's not going to be on the street. The protest is becoming unrealistic and unreasonable, and that's why you hear the army saying it, because it is beginning to take.
You want to say something?
No.
All right.
It's politically said, so I'm gonna let it be.
Let's take some more calls then. 95.1 FM.
Wealth is not.
Hello.
Wait. I need to make a public service announcement. Wealth is no longer a journalist. Wealth is now an activist, because what I'm saying in the studio.
I don't get. What have I just done now? I have done nothing. I deserve to sue you to court.
Okay.
You are always very happy and excited. Really.
Really? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know.
Somebody that I'm about to sue, you're saying he's happy.
You are very happy. The excitement is even more when Wealth is presenting the program.
I don't know what you're talking about. So are you saying I'm a sadist by nature?
I don't know why this is funny to me.
Okay. All right.
No, it's normal. I think she brings some kind of excitement.
So you are saying she brings the best. She brings the best in me.
Yeah,
she's my peak now.
Your best comes out when you are presenting with that. Seriously.
All right, go ahead with your contribution.
Seriously, Canada. By the way, I adopted everything Bright just said.
Okay.
Now, when you are doing something, sometimes it's good in your hand. And people say, when you are doing something, even though it is good in your hand, there is a way you will do it, you overdo it, and it will become bad in your hand.
Too much of everything is bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's too much. Yes.
Oh, sorry. We took our time laughing and hello.
All right. Lawson, I really do hope that you get back to us, right? 95.1 FM.
Hello. Well, Canada, greet you.
We'll greet you right back.
It's Fred, calling from Port Harcourt.
Welcome.
Yes, for issue of gold mining, I want to borrow Mr. President's speech in 2015 that is for everybody and not for everybody. The country belongs to everybody and the country does not belong to everybody. This is good morning to those who think they are wise. That is my opinion on that. The issue of protest, well, I want to say that protest can be carried out peacefully without any violence. But the question now is that why the anti-protest? Does it mean that there are some set of group or set of tribes that are comfortable with the activities of SARS and their brutality in innocent Nigerians? Who are behind the sponsoring those anti-protests? Who called them? What is the gain and the purpose of that? I think if any Nigerians who feel that you are proud Nigerians, this is the time to start feeling worried. It's no longer a secessionist. The real secessionists have come and they have come to stay. Protest of NSAS has come and gone. But I think the Nigeria should be in a good shape at the moment. So the youth have risen up and this is the time to take the mantle. I'm telling you, these people, they call our leaders. Imagine Mr. Speaker said those that the police people killed, that they should publish their name. Let there be a proper compensation. The police hierarchy has not said anything in that direction. All you need to do after how many days, you set up another group called SWAP. What for? Is there an agenda? Does it mean there is an agenda for this? It means that police are working for something else that we Nigerians don't know. This is the time to ask questions.
All right,
Nigeria is going in the wrong direction.
All right.
There are something we are not
ask the questions.
and we will find out.
Ask the questions on our behalf, please.
Thank you very much. He said we would find out.
All
Let's
right.
read some messages.
WhatsApp. This one says, Mr. Bright is not on point. And he didn't drop his name and he left. Okay. This one says, Canada, let me tell you, my dear, it's important that this protest continues and touch some other aspects of our economic life and bad government. Let the youth protest the increase in pump price of petrol, which apparently has caused hike in everything in the market. The price of a bag of local rice is 31,000 naira. A pint of Gary, 1,000 naira. How I wish they start immediately throughout the country. Ben from Port Harcourt. But Ben, remember I told you yesterday that Nigeria is now the largest Africa
Producers of rice.
Rice producer in Africa, rather. So I'm wondering why. Are you sure you are in the right markets? 31,000 naira.
You see why I missed yesterday's conversation.
Are you sure you're in the right market? But this one says, Melody Uniport. Honestly, before now, I never believed anything could come from Omar Agege. Kudos to him. We are in a country where my own is our own, but your own is your own. That's just one of the many injustices and imbalances in favor of the North in Nigeria. We need to balance these imbalances, including VAT money from sales of alcohol given to some northern states where alcohol are prohibited. Enough of this monkey they walk, baboon they chop. As for the protest, the consciousness is rising. No longer shall we be taken for granted. The lazy youths have risen. When the frog in front falls into a pit, the one behind will take caution. Leaders beware. All right. Parables since yesterday, pouring in parables. This one says, I am Ernest from OG. People who are saying the protest should stop are the same people who will be complaining of bad roads and hunger in Nigeria. Nigerian politicians give youth cutlass to go and disrupt protests while their children are abroad. All right, thank you very much for that one. Let's see what's on the text message portal. This one says, I am a police officer. I buy my uniform by myself. Okay, I buy my uniform by myself, I believe you meant to say. And then you say from my hand to my legs. And this is coming from Musa. Musa,
Can you take that again? He gets his uniform himself.
Yeah, that's what he's trying to say, from head to toe. From head to toe, he buys it all by himself. This one says those calling for state police shouldn't forget the treatment task force without gun method to citizens. OSPAC are growing small from Stan. All right then. Oh, this is not for me, I believe. That's for Annie. Okay, I shouldn't have read that one. This one, KM Oswald. Good day, Canada and Wealth. We will hold security chiefs responsible if protesters are continually being attacked and killed. As for Zamfara government, they should wait. We will come to them. Our eyes are very much
He's so
on them.
turn.
Yes. Did you see that tweet where
Oh, good God.
in Lagos they were moving? I think it was in Ikeja. Was it Ikeja? I can't remember the place, but they were going and then they saw the power company. I don't know what the name. I don't know the name they call it. And they passed, and then they came back and they said, "Man, don't worry. Would they come for now?" And they moved on. It's very funny, but it happened.
Oh, good God.
This one says, "End SARS, end NAS, and finally end bad governance. Canada and Wealth. The thing our leaders are running from will soon start running after them." All right. That's
Somebody said John Goodall mature.
Somebody said so too. This one says, Canada, let me tell you, more is coming. This not small. More protests, more protests. But they want to do state of emergency. So I don't understand where all of you are coming out with this boldness. This one says, I'm Chris. Oh, Chris. See, I now see those that are against democracy. Those you give enough time to talk. You know them. I don't know them. Oh, please. I am not against democracy. That's a treasonable statement, please. According to Bright, we won't stop the protest and start for a new demand tomorrow. According to Bright, we won't stop the protest and start for a new demand tomorrow. I don't get it. We can address all bad governance at once.
Oh, I get
now
where that's
is the
coming
time.
from.
Okay, Casey Potako, you didn't have to say according to Bright then. I don't think it is right for people to always say it's to benefit the North or South. I am from the South. I have not benefited anything. Only our politicians. Even the North, the poor masses don't benefit. Only the politicians. NS from Oji. You have a point, but let it be that if our politicians are enjoying, they're enjoying well too. You don't enjoy partial enjoyment, and then the North politicians are enjoying full. I
don't understand what you just said.
I say no to injustice. No to injustice. All right. Somebody said they are the same. I don't get what you're trying to talk about, but let's take some more calls.
All right, back to the phone lines now. 95.1 FM. Good afternoon to you.
Well.
Good afternoon.
I greet you, the Canada from Canada. Sorry.
Yeah.
From Canada.
Okay. What's your name?
Okay. My afternoon name is still left, right, center, honorable.
Baby, something must kill him. Okay.
No, for what?
It's a good thing you halted when you did.
No, I was thinking of something else, but just go ahead. I'm having fun in the studio. Just go ahead now, yeah?
Canada, I want to put it to you that those who say this country is being governed by two different laws are right. I support the protest. I stand for those who are protesting. Whether I government, I stand with them. But I want to deviate from there and go to the whatever they call mineral resources or malt resources. Canada, now they are selling gold. They are selling gold to federal government, and they say the oil money everybody gets it. You see, that gold, 5 billion, my brother, you know this to earn for revenue.
Yeah, true.
And now they want to bring it.
And that's just a small portion, 5 billion.
I did not even start the surface. They not even start the surface. We are not talking about the one that people are mining illegally there. We are not talking about whatever they are doing there. This is just because the government is trying to do something and bring it out for all of us to hear. We know what is going on there. That is why you have the so-called bandits full of them, because they are all getting money from that gold they are mining there. But the same will come here and chase whatever they call the hungry boys. Canada, now they want to bring water resources bill to more and more impoverish us. We are in a country where you have one side governed by Sharia law and another side by Nigerian law. See. Bye-bye.
Okay. That was too abrupt for me.
Oh, you did
that
not
was
drop
really abrupt.
Now, before, okay, we've taken it 95.1 FM.
Yeah, hello, good afternoon.
Chris, you already sent in a message. Well, anyways, go ahead. Go ahead.
To get you now, it's very difficult. And let me tell you something. I belong to the truth, and
Nothing but the truth.
yes, because truth shall set us free. And let me look about the protest. You see what the South people are doing. I reported them last time. Nobody heard me until when they touched the big man June. See, these South people, let me tell you, I will stay with them last 2 weeks. There is no difference between them and the kidnapping. The person that is coming to arrest your child, no name. Who is in that uniform? They arrested one of my brothers. We look for this boy several places. We declare the boy missing the whole radio station, if not the help of Moscow Road. If not because of Moscow Road, Radio Abuja and Kaduna, that is where the order from come. We now, indeed, they are now say that after I went to start off with Atorupo, they say they are now with the boy. You see what will happen? They will kidnap you, they will keep you somewhere. The boy, I will go one day, the boy will tell you what he passed through in their hand. See, this kidnapping that you are hearing, watch your back, the people are doing the kidnapping. When Wike was shouting, they say he's playing politics. After he declared it, you see the kidnapping stop. You see how the thing was happening. On the protest, let me tell you, we should continue to protest if they will hear them. Yes, good morning to them because we were protesting because they call us miscreants. Now we have pushed it to them. I don't know what people will call them now. Maybe they are jobless youth, they don't have jobs. Because when we are protesting against illegal things that they are doing in this country, people call us jobless youth. That we have anything. Those that in that protest, they don't have anything to do with it. I hope they are not miscreants. This is good morning. All
right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Chris. So, Chris, I need to take some text messages now. And remember, yesterday I said I'm no longer the man of the people because I feel like the people are awake now. The people have, are taking up their responsibilities, and there is no need for anybody to man them anymore. The people are at that point of self-realization. So it's good, and I'm just going to take the back seat now and enjoy the view. But then this message says, KM Osfor, Kalada, people should talk in people should talk in whatever way they like. When the youths were sleeping, people complained, while the government was consistent in bad governance. Now we are awake. We will be consistent in our protest. All right, then. KM Osfor, thank you very much for that one. Kaladan Wealth, good afternoon. Please let gold issue be discussed in second half. Please. Big Fish from Port Harcourt. Is this the big fish that I know? Okay, welcome, and thank you there. WhatsApp, this one says, Canada, I am an officer. The government did not give me uniform. I buy it with my money. All right. Thank you very much for that one. You did not drop your name. FG buying gold from Zamfara State. Government is a welcome development. Let the leaders of the South continue to mumu. Is this not colonialism? The North is the Lord of Nigeria. That's entirely your opinion. This one says, okay, you want our politicians in the South to enjoy like those in the North. And NAS. And this mentality. And let's from OG. All right. Okay, let's see what's on Facebook. And then we'll wrap things up. Where's Facebook now? Oh my. Okay. All right. I don't think we have any new... No, we don't have any new comments on Facebook. So we'll go for the news update at 2. When we return, we will be talking conspiracy theories now. ASU and federal government might finally come to an agreement.
I mean, they're currently in a closed-door meeting.
As government intends to consider UTAS. NYC camp is open. Is it the way they want to carry the youth out of the streets? We will find out in the second half. Stay tuned. Today 95.1fm.
every day, every hour. When the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM. Port Harcourt. News update.
Good afternoon. Here is the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I am Wealth Wilson. This report says a fresh crisis is looming in the All Progressive Congress over the decision of Mai Mala Buni-led Caretaker Extraordinary National Convention Committee to conduct fresh membership registration. This was guarded in stirring controversy between the committee and the governors sympathetic to it against those loyal to the immediate past national chairman, Adams Oshiomhole, and its national leader, Bola Tinubu. It was learned that those who were opposed to the Buni-led committee's decision were of the view that the panel was going beyond its mandate by planning fresh membership registration. This is happening after Governor Buni met with APC chairman with the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory at the party's National Secretariat in Abuja, where they confirmed that the party would embark on a fresh membership registration before the National Convention, which was initially scheduled for next month. The presidential panel set up to probe the suspended acting chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ibrahim Magu, has begun a physical verification of all assets seized by the EFCC. Reports say that the panel, led by a former president of the Court of Appeal, Justice Ayo Salami, had visited Lagos, Abuja, Rivers State, and a few other major offices of the commission. Sources close to the panel said the aim of the exercise was to verify claims made by Magu regarding the seizure of assets. Human rights lawyer Femi Falana has said the reason behind the rights violation, extortion and brutality that has sparked protests across the country can be traced to how policemen and women are trained for their roles. The senior advocate of Nigeria said the training process of the police is archaic and leaves officers with no idea of human rights and human relations. Falana said this while speaking on the End SARS protest. The human rights lawyer has repeatedly condemned rights violation by the police, not, however, surprised by the terror unleashed on citizens by members of the unit and many of their colleagues in the force over time.
There has been no indication that the government is prepared yet to respect the rights of the Nigerian people embodied in the Constitution and other statutes, human rights statutes. And in this particular instance, I'm not talking of the government in Abuja. I'm not talking of the federal government. I'm also talking of state governments that have greater.
The president of the Senate, Ahmad Lawan, has asked the anti-SARS protesters to end their demonstrations to enable President Muhammadu Buhari work on the implementation of the 5-point.
The demands that it had accepted from the protesters. To do otherwise is to make it even difficult or even impossible for government to really do these things in good time. We should hold government responsible when we give it the opportunity to do those things that it say it will do and it fails.
The chief executive of Twitter, Jack Dorsey, has joined the push aimed at disbanding the Special Anti-Robbery Squad (SARS) and putting an end to police brutality in Nigeria. Jack, in a tweet, urged all concerned, calls on help made by several international groups, organizations and celebrities from around the world. It comes at the heels of a protest that has evolved daily with hashtags changing incessantly. On the foreign scene, Thailand's government has imposed arresting at least 20 activists and 2 of their movement's leader. The ruling bans gathering of 5 or more people and the publication of news or online messages that could harm national security. Protests have escalated over the past 3 months, with tens of thousands of people marching in Bangkok, setting up a camp outside. It moved through crowds of people holding their arms aloft in the 3-finger salute that has become the symbol of the democracy movement and shouting their demands. And that was the news update on Today 95.1 FM. Do not forget, take responsibility, wash your hands frequently with soap or running water. Avoid touching your face and high contact surfaces to prevent coronavirus. Once again, good afternoon. I'm Wealth Wilson and thank you for listening. Do stay with us as today's hustle continues with Wealth and Calada.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
I am a proud Nigerian. I have been placed here by God for a time such as this.
At my back, I ain't coming back.
The degradation, challenges, and problems faced by Nigeria are the perfect backdrop for me to develop and utilize my God-given potential.
I will not complain. I will not criticize. Rather, I will use my skills, gifts, relationships,
and experience to find long-lasting
the people.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
This president's failed.
It's about the future of this country.
We're going to take it back. We're going to take it back.
You asked us to vote you into that position so you can bring about that
solution.
So when you vote me, then you sleep.
Let me see if I can take another phone call. Hello, Today 95.1 FM. Good morning.
What makes a policeman to be able to feed is the gun he's holding. They use their gun to extort money from people.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
No longer news that we are truly the voice of the people.
Am I not a slave in Nigeria?
I refuse if you're
slave. Let's not get to that now. So the Nigerian Constitution is philosophical.
You spot the difference now?
Every day on Today 95.1 FM, there's always an opportunity to comment and air your views on our various programs. It's not just about us, it's about you, your opinion, and your voice.
President, don't you think that it's time to step down, sir?
Be part of the story, the gist, reactions, intrigues, and the news.
President Neil Patrick Harris has called for greater regulation.
Give us a feedback or join the conversation on Twitter at TodayFM951. Our Facebook address is Today95.1 FM, or join us on the number 0701 933 9962. That's our WhatsApp application. Be informed, be educated, and have fun. We are Today 95.1 FM, voice of the people.
This is the Vivian Douglas Show. It is an avenue for paradigm shift.
We bring you a platform where your voice counts on issues of social reform in our society, from governance to education,
domestic abuse, health, environment, relationship, religion, lifestyle, entertainment, and much more.
Most importantly, here on the Vivian Douglas Show, we speak to impact on all fronts. Join us on Today 95.1 FM Port Harcourt every Thursday, 5 to 6 p.m.
on the Vivian Douglas Show to interact, and on the Just So You Know segment on Today 95.1 FM, and on our social media platforms at the Vivian Douglas Show.
Let's keep it real and log down every Thursday.
This is today's hustle. One show that embodies objectivity. We raise the bar in examining the good, the bad, the sordid, everything that has to do with society.
In America, you buy a big house and you pay gradually for 30 years of your life. That is politics. In Nigeria, you carry all your salary and go and rent one bad politics.
Everything that has to do with
You
society.
must negotiate. If we don't negotiate, when a man is pushed to the wall, he bounces back with double levels. We have been pushed to the wall.
The Hustle. Every weekday from
1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
on Today 95.1 FM.
This is today's hustle. One show that embodies objectivity. We raise the bar in examining the good, the bad, the sordid, everything that has to do with society.
In America, you buy a big house and you pay gradually for 30 years of your life. That is politics. In Nigeria, you carry all your salary and go and rent one bad politics.
Everything that has to do with
You
society.
must negotiate. If we don't negotiate, when a man is pushed to the wall, he bounces back with double levels. We have been pushed to the wall.
The Hustle. Every weekday from
1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
on Today 95.1 FM.
All right, you can join the conversation on Facebook and Twitter. The first half topic is still going hot there on social media. Social media platform for Facebook. The handle is at Today 95.1 FM, and then for Twitter it is Today FM 951. And then this conversation that we are about to have is also on social media, so you go to both platforms, both social media platforms, and air your opinions there or drop your comments there. Right about now it's the second half. Wilson still in the studio, still alive and in the studio. Kalada still alive and in the studio. Yes, we are not going anywhere just yet. We want to do conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories. Like we already posited in the first half, we feel like, or I feel like, I'm going to talk for myself and I'm going to allow Wealth talk for herself.
All right, then.
I feel like there are moves to end the protest, and the government does not want to be a bad boy. So the government is coming out we would allow you to protest, but please, we are meeting your demands. Then possibly, I might be wrong, praying that certain elements will occur that will then make the protest not viable anymore. And yesterday we saw the brutalization of protesters, and then somehow the protesters decided not to, chicken out, and they decided to, defend themselves, and were able to resist the hoodlums who had come to attack them. In Lagos, along the Ibadan Lagos Expressway, we saw the same thing where protesters were attacked by hoodlums, and they also did not chicken out, and they were able to resist the attackers. What really did touch me was that in Abuja, the cars that were destroyed, they decided to set up a fund and said everybody who lost the property should name or should come out and name what property they lost, and they were going to repair it. The protesters were going to repair it so that nobody blames the protesters for doing something unholy.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at it from that direction, I want to then argue that all of these elements that have been trying to disrupt the protests might have been who is the entity,
or who are the people, just in case,
who's bankrolling them. That I cannot answer. My conspiracy theory has not gotten to that point just yet. But NYC camp opens in about 3 weeks and some days. I'm calculating. At the same time, I am seeing on various dailies that ASU might be calling off the strike because finally the IPPIS, which was the contention, might have been eradicated or might be eradicated after the closed-door meeting that they are having with the federal government. Because the federal government is tinkering on accepting UTAS, University Transparency Account System. And I'm thinking in my head, was it not just last week the president before the legislators saying there is no going back on IPPIS? Anybody who is not on the platform will not be paid.
Now, the thing is, which of course would be sparking a lot of this, afterthoughts would be, the speed, and the likened commitment that was seen from the federal government and ASU to, come to a negotiation at this point in time, for me, is quite questionable. As you mentioned earlier, it was the federal government who came out, wholeheartedly. It wasn't anybody pointing gun to their head or anything, stating that whether ASU liked it or not, there is no going back on IPPIS, isn't it? And then we had a lot of stakeholders who came out as well to say that, maybe the only thing ASU has to do right now is to just adjust whatever is there to be adjusted with the IPPIS and see how they can fly with it, because the federal government is adamant on that particular one. And now I am seeing that UTAS is reachable. Let's use it.
Hey, we are seeing some. It's like this one is better than our own.
Why didn't you shed this light a long time ago?
Professor, this one makes sense. So, Okay. I see. Don't mind our programmer. Our programmer. I told him.
Why are you being dramatic?
I told him not to employ. Don't mind. See, I told him not to employ. It's that minister's fault too. You know me. I'm a professor. I don't. I'm citing you people. It's just that I'm doing my work, and IPPI, we are trying to stop corruption. You know, people are.
But UTAS is more accountable.
I can see.
It's very
I think we should even totally eradicate IPPIs. And I'll tell the president, this your youth. You guys are prof. You need to be T. We need more of these. If people are doing like this, by now we would have.
Doing well.
We would have, would have even done. Oh, Buhari will be proud of you. I think they will even increase your salary. Don't worry. You have done this infection is mad. Oh.
I don't know what to do after this. Like,
oh my God. Anyway, choice. The point is, why the energy all of a sudden to? I mean, it looked as if before. Was it not the Minister of Education for State that was saying, "Hey guys, go be farmers, man. Nigeria needs more farmers." Why do you turn? Was it not the same government that almost did not pay lecturer salaries during COVID-19
so why the change
lockdown?
Of mind all of a sudden?
All of a sudden.
And that's not all. That's not all. Do you want to be dramatic with the NYSC thing?
Go ahead. I'm going to leave.
I enjoyed it. I think you should do that.
I see. Bag of rice is 31,000. I cannot waste all my energy on some kind of dramatic piece. But on a serious note, NYC is 3-4 weeks away. 3-4 weeks away. And then I'm thinking, why? Imagine they tell you NYC is in 3 weeks. You have to leave where you are, rush back to your school,
and get ready
and get registered so that you can get to NYC. And then you have to do some buying and some, like you said, prepping up for NYC. Because if you miss it, it means that you have to wait for the next batch and you never would know. I mean, like I told you yesterday, there's a possibility of another wave of COVID-19 around the world. So you would want to get that done and dusted. So you would want to be in the camp by November 10. What does that mean? You would have to leave the protest ground. What does that mean?
No more protests.
What does that mean?
The government doesn't have youth to answer anymore because they now have NYSC to think of.
I told you well as an activist. You
How am I even being an activist?
All right, go ahead.
I'm saying the mind of some persons now. This is not activism.
Okay. All right, sorry, we got distracted. I think our drama seemed to attract
it has gotten to the people.
The people, and people were trying to come act with us. But then again, on a serious note, do you think that our conspiracy theories might have a good point? Might. I'm not saying it is truth. I'm not saying it's reality. Neither is World saying the same. But could this just be the strategy? Could it just be governments? I mean, so that they don't look like the bad boy, the bad guy, the bad parent that's always spanking and always coming up with, harsh and authoritarian orders. This could just be them subtly saying, "Hey guys, we're still the government."
Or we are overthinking it. I mean, it could be. It's very possible that we are. No, I think you are because you're the dramatic one here.
All right, we're going to open the phone lines right about now. 22 minutes gone past the hour of 2. We're thinking. Conspiracy theories it is. It's not a statement of fact. It's not a statement of truth. It's just we're putting 1 and 2 together. I mean, just last week, the president in front of a joint session of the National Assembly was very stern when he said IPPIS for nothing. A couple of days before that, the Minister of State for Education had said, "Go be farmers. Go be farmers. If you will not, adhere and stick to the principles of government, who is your employer, then go be farmers. Go be farmers." And all of a sudden, what we are hearing, and of course you have to put Femi Gbajabiamila into the picture, because all of a sudden there is an interest. All of a sudden the National Assembly is interested. Is it because now the people are looking at their allowances and their budgets and their spending and expenditure and all of their finances, we need to ask these questions. We need to talk, and we need to understand why all of a sudden even the legislators are interested in ending the rift between ASU and the federal government. I mean, the speed at which Gbajabiamila was handling the meeting between ASU and federal government yesterday
is to cut you. I mean, you remember
they have called you, I think, because they have given you brand. You want to cite them.
Oh God!
Go ahead.
Who is doing this to me?
Go ahead.
Now you also remember that there was the outburst, hashtag. Allow us to go back to school, something like that.
And ASU
strike and all of that. So maybe this is the government also listening to all of the numerous requests.
That hashtag did not last more than 12 hours or 16 hours.
Let's give it 24 hours.
I think what is causing this is end NAS and what is it now? End NAS pay now. End NAS pay now. That hashtag got Gbajabiamila and Ahmad Lawan working yesterday.
And it's making them say these children, they are biting more than they can chew. We have to give them something else.
Did you see how much they take home every month?
It's still trending anyway.
If not for this protest, how could we have known?
It's still trending. People are still complaining about the hardship allowance, for crying out loud.
I want to see. That's why I left man of the people. Let me confess now. I left man of the people because I want to go and join those other people that are representing the people and eating on behalf of the people, because like those people have hardship allowance.
Like
oh my God. It shocked you. Okay. Anyways, we're going to open the phone lines now. 25 minutes finally gone past the hour. And it's time for you to air your views on the show. Unless conspiracy theory is not a fight. We don't belong. As a matter of fact, I don't know about wealth, but I don't belong to anywhere.
They already said that I belong to APC. See, you should not just be giving me...
I'm not even talking about political parties now. I'm talking about even the protests. I don't think I'm really in support of the hashtag EndSARS, but I don't think I'm also against it. So I am neither here nor there. I'm on the fence. And so I'm not anywhere, but this is just
You can either be hot or cold.
I am lukewarm.
You cannot be lukewarm.
I am lukewarm.
God will spit you out.
Let him spit out on this very one. I agree.
Now, the truth of the matter is that, whether you like it or not, myself included, right? I feel the EndSARS protest is the least of our problems. The EndSARS hashtag in itself is the least of our problems. But then again, you cannot, because you feel certain things are not relevant right now, make it look like the people who are doing it are, nonsensical for thinking it that way. So I do feel that they're in their rights to, protest on that one, and they deserve to be heard by the government. But now what we're trying to, posit or, decipher is whether or not you think that this move, the speedy attempt by federal government now to cool off, I would say cool off, right? Because, they're in talks with ASU. They seem to be looking up with UTAS, NYSC camps reopening and all of that. Do you think that this is just a subtle attempt to cool off or to, disperse these protesters since they don't want to hear word?
They don't want to hear word. Children. Parents and guardians, warn your children. No. All right, phone line, sir. 95.1 FM. What's your name?
Yeah, Salada. Good afternoon, West. I greet you again.
Good afternoon.
Yes, let me look at the EndSARS. We are carrying out the activities. My people are being killed. I've been shouting and calling for EndSARS, and nobody listens. Now it has touched them. They want to call for protest.
But it's the people who called for protest, not the government.
Yes, I understand. He's now telling them that, look, you want me to come out and address you, but I've been shouting for this issue and nobody listening. It means that it has affected some individuals, some people, some states. Now they want to rise up, is it not? But I want to look at it now in this way, that people that protested against these protesters, those who attacked these protesters, does it mean that this thing does not affect them? Because if it affects you, you have no reason to attack those who are fighting for your interest. Do you understand me? It means that the activities of the stars does not touch your state or your people. So you feel reluctant, you feel comfortable, you feel okay that what the stars are doing in some region, they are okay. That is the plan. So you have every right to call for reprisal attack on those protesting. Is it not? So, my advice now on those in uniform, no matter your category of uniform, is that if from the south, southeast, and southwest, look for your brother. Try to find out what's going on in your department. There is an agenda. Full stop. Look for your brother. This is the time. It has said.
All right.
Look for your brother. Nobody should say he didn't know, because like goes, you find it on
all right,
data.
all right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm wondering if we're talking on the same feed. Thank you very much there. Thank you very much. 95.1 FM. What's your name? Welcome back to Conspiracy Theory edition of today's hustle.
Yes. I do not agree with your conspiracy theories.
Okay.
Yeah. Number one reason is all the participants in the protest, or most of them, are not candidates eligible for NYSC.
Okay.
And then not even all of the candidates who are eligible, or most of the candidates who are eligible for NYSC, are in support of the protest. And then the statement of the president on the floor of the Senate when he was presenting the budget on IPPIS did not suggest, and he did not mention, that he has foreclosed further meetings with ASU.
Okay.
And then the labor minister had not even said they were not going to continue further deliberation and dialogue with ASU.
Okay.
So even on the NSAS anti-NSAS protest, those who are pro-SAS, even here in Rivers City, if you open this studio for the next 1 hour, you are going to even find it difficult to qualify those who want SAS not to go and those who want SAS to. So if there are anti-NSAS protesters, there are those who genuinely from their mind who want SAS not to be scrapped.
All right.
Want the excesses of SAS to be controlled. I am wanted SAS, but he acknowledged the benefit of SAS, even as much as SAS is doing something very wrong here in River State. There are those of us who know that if not for SAS, the peace we are enjoying, including our brothers, the husbands, the peace we are enjoying, we would not have had it.
All right.
You wouldn't have been carrying your expensive phones and walk freely on the street of Port Harcourt. You wouldn't have been going home by the time you go.
Can I pause you now? Can I pause you, Mr. Bright? Now, number one, I want to say the majority of the youths out there are either students or rather young people who just graduated from school, because if they are not part of either of the two groups, they are unemployed youths. And so if we have these three categories, remove students and they remove NYSC qualified candidates
from the street,
what will be left?
Would have?
What will be left? That's the question we need to answer. What will be left?
Okay, you're correct. It's going to affect the number of persons protesting. But the government, where I do not agree with you now, that is the reason why these things are open. The government didn't initiate these things today.
But they were so stern on going the IPPI's way.
I mean, the negotiations, Mr. Bright, weren't really looking up. You would agree with that.
There was the back and
forth.
They were
really, really ardent.
We were in support of the government at the time because we wanted ASU to be part of IPPIS.
Yes. Now, let me tell you why it is not also because of the protest. The government had announced 3-4 weeks ago that schools should reopen far earlier before the protest began.
True.
Good. And then as you said, they were not going to go back. Some, like the River State University, Ignatius Ajero University of Education, those ones are ongoing. And ASU had even threatened to sanction them. Some other state universities are pulled out of that ASU struggle, ASU strike. ASU is threatening to sanction them earlier before the NSAS protest began. So the process, government has initiated the process of going back to school before the protest began. So that is why it does not apply here. Because if the government, out of the COVID-19 protocols, have said school should not reopen, and now they are saying school should reopen, then we can buy to that conspiracy theory. And then the same NYSC, it is also the same government who has been on the process of opening gatherings that were closed because of NISC. So this process had begun before the protest. But then I would agree with you, if they speed up this process now, it is going to affect the protest. But these things have begun. Then on the same IPPIS issue, the government had also allowed us to bring their UTAS earlier before the protest.
But they didn't consider it. But anyway, you've made your point, Mr. Bright. We need to give a chance to other people to add their views. Melody Uniport, the conspiracy theory is well thought. They want to use the opening of NYSC to reduce the number of youths signing up to the protest. Just watch, the universities will soon open just to keep youths busy and reduce their chances of being in the protest.
You see, this wouldn't have been a topic of discussion if from the very onset we noticed that the federal government was eager, to come to some sort of agreement with us.
I mean, they said IPPIS or no other way.
They asked these lecturers to take up O's and cutlasses to go to the farms.
I imagine I was almost going to be a farmer. I didn't know it was all political.
All of a sudden there is that energy now. I mean, this is Nigeria.
Our fatherland.
And the majority of the persons who are protesting now are not old people. We're looking at people within the ages for tertiary university. They could be in schools, in tertiary institutions, or they are actually
we lost that one. This one says if the government likes, let them open the land borders, sea borders, or area list. We'll just sit and watch. Veli DK is my name.
All right.
You do have a point. We can be fanatics in this country. You do have a point there. Okay, we've moved on from just talking about the protest.
But I saw something quite disturbing anyway. I did see lots of pictures circulating around the media of certain security operatives who stood by while those distorters came in to disrupt the peaceful protest going on. And I'm wondering why they were there. I mean, they're supposed to make sure that these bad elements do not infiltrate the protest,
and
isn't it?
These are the issues. This is why we're giving birth to conspiracy theories on the show this afternoon. But this one says, I'm Ernest from OG. School resumes, the protest will gather more momentum.
You are learning is the question.
Lecturers will not play with you on
they
this
will
one.
Speed up your curriculum like never before. Because
you want to
do
meet
you know how many
exam?
months you people you've wasted like this?
Rivers State University is writing exams. So imagine other schools, federal schools open and start writing exams.
Where would you have the time?
Where would you have the time? You'll be reading. Well, let's find out who's here. 95.1 FM.
Hello.
Giving their own opinion. So I think it's right for me to give my own opinion.
Of course. Go ahead.
Yeah. Because this is not telling me that in the middle of the protest, then you are calling, which you have already made confirmation to that anyone that is not going to register under IPPIS should not be in the form. It should not be in the system. So I think that everything they are doing is a strategy, and I say that the youth are going to open up their eyes now, because as you can see now, everybody eyes are open. Let the days of Fela now. The days of Fela need to come up, because Fela has already said this before, that the government they are totally. That's very true.
All right then.
Okay, now the shit on the youth. You want to open school back. You want to open this is youth corps service back. My brother, it's not done like that. They are doing peaceful protest. They are fighting for their rights. So let's not be guided.
Okay.
You're not getting the point. We just came out of COVID-19, and government said they don't have money, so they had to cut down certain things, cut down certain expenditure. The question is, do we have more money now? Do you know how many people will be going for NYSC come November 10? 30,000 times that number of people. Do we have that money? Scheme
would be catered for by the government, but the question now is the timing. I mean, we're still in the COVID-19 era. We're still talking about experiencing the next wave of the virus, isn't it, in the country? And then we seem to be speeding up things now, maybe because of the heat of the moment and all of that. So if we're going to consider all in all, because one of the reasons they also mentioned, one of the reasons they also mentioned, for stopping the NYSC for a while, right, was because of the COVID-19 as well, isn't it? So you see, we're still talking about COVID-19, but now we feel we can manage it now. Maybe that's what the government is thinking. We can manage it now.
Yet again, do we have enough money? Because a lot of things have changed. People who have been flying, I think it was someone in the office, she came back from Lagos and she said that, the usual things that they would give them on flight to eat are no longer there. Everybody is cutting. There's austerity measure being practiced by various sectors. We just cried out that the cost of governance is too much. I mean, expenditure were cut down and we saw removal of subsidy both in the power sector and the petroleum sector. The question is, can we afford this right now? Given that we had an economic decline of about 6.1% in the second quarter of 2020. I'm just in the mathematics. I'm not saying we shouldn't do it. I'm just doing the mathematics because I have a conspiracy theory, and I'm going to the phone lines now, and I want to hear what you want to say. 95.1 FM.
It shocked you.
It shocked her.
It shocked
me, not me.
Well, not shock you that Nigeria will do. Anything goes.
All right, welcome.
My name is Bright.
Bright, welcome.
From Romo Bayesa.
Honorable BP. Chop Noko, welcome.
At least for the first time, let me tell you my name.
Okay. All right, welcome.
The BP you are saying one is Bright, and I do.
Okay, all right.
But this Bright did not support the I think I want to agree with this conspiracy theory. Now, I want to ask, before now, did the government even try to look what API presented? Did they even try to look at it and say, okay, let's just see what you are saying?
Okay.
They never did, right?
It wasn't really looking up.
Never looking to it at all. They say
no. I can't say they never.
Looked at
it. You were the one presenting it. They said, look at what we want. This is what we want. This is what we have arranged for ourselves. I think that we better for us. And they said, no. Everybody should go for the IPPS. That was what they said. And within one meeting. For Nigeria, one meeting is no problem. Just one meeting and they agree. My father, where's my mother? See, we know what's happening. It's just to, because whether we like it or not, the government will do everything.
Welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon. I am now humble. You see Nigerian government on this, they are calling of this and that. It's not today. There is one parable that says, not today we start to see Hausa with their arrow. See, it's the only people that don't know federal government. I know federal government since 1980. The little I know them. If there is anything that will benefit farmers or people, you will see federal. You don't know that federal government, at times they have their own group. Every government, they have people that will fight for them. They are paying. Look at them. You notice how they don't normally call. Another person now don't take over. He will still tire by telling people lies, which is not reality. You can't fool people every time now. We will send that person now to Sambisa Forest.
You are attacking actually. You are attacking actually.
I am sorry for that. And on the side of what is happening, see, let me tell you, on this calling up and this thing, federal government. Yes, that voice, you know that voice. At the mention of that.
Good day, Canada. I totally agree with your line of thought. The government has realized that most of the youths on the streets are predominantly students, so they rush to open schools so that they can stop the protest. But I think they are wrong because the lead that covers many injustices, method and people consistently defending this current government back on a mass strike, boycotting
schools.
Can they? I'm wondering. Need of the police. The entire police force cannot be disbanded because if there is no police, there will be no country. If you disband police because that's work, what will be the gains of those that were injured? Will Buhari give them Oku Diri from Port Harcourt? Please tell.
Say there is no relation. It's an opinion, but I think if actually Nigerian government is so sincere as we claim,
okay.
The question is this government really working for anybody, including the callers? The answer is no, Nigeria is not working for anybody. I am very sure of that. Then let's go to the conspiracy theory. If you think this thing have no relationship, I will not think in that direction because over the years, over some months, governments don't even have it.
Are you still there?
Government don't even have interest in the type. Now they are the one who is calling out to because they want to get the boys out of the trade. And the only way they protest are without the hand of the monkey on a pot of soup. But the truth is this: if you think you don't want to change this country in sincerity, this will continue to hurt every individual the way that we like it, whether we like it or not. The government should do the needful. Address some of these issues in practical, not in theory as they want to do.
Right.
For me, if I have to accept you guys without accepting some of their policies, the money, and they go back again, shame to them.
Right.
Go beyond you type as they play.
All right then. All right, thank you very much there. 95.1 FM lost that one. Keep your calls coming in. We've got 10 minutes left and the show will come to an end.
Do not forget that you can join the conversation on our social media platforms.
At Today FM 951 on Twitter and Today 95.1 FM on Facebook. Talking about social media, let's go to Facebook and read some of the messages therein. And this one says, thank God Atwegbo is saying they wouldn't divert our attention from protesting against injustice in the land. When you pursue them, yeah, they run, go another side. This government is a funny government indeed. Universities, is it only UTAS? Many people that enrolled into university have not graduated. As we should stick with facilities, not only UTAS, if they are sincere. Now, Chibike Awama says, okay, I wouldn't read
but
that.
really, if we think about it, that question.
95.1 FM, what's your name? Where are you calling in?
Alada. Do you know that after the June 12 election and all that, and when we are agitating for that, even we students, we came out from the university to protest. I was in the final year then. Port Harcourt was shut down. Everybody was threatened. So whether you open school or not, if people want to protest,
so you think they will leave their exams and come out to protest?
It depends. You cannot give exam immediately.
But River State University is writing exams. I mean, 1-2 weeks after. 1 week after they reopen schools.
That one is River State. You know, you understand the governor. He was even talking. He was angry. He said if they had even gone on that strike, he would have been angry with them. So he has his own agenda. He doesn't want. I don't know, but he doesn't want the River State ASU branch to join this strike. He made it clear.
Okay.
That there is nothing like solidarity. If it is a solidarity strike and other, let him collect all the money from them so that they can go and do solidarity.
Okay.
All right.
But seriously, government had wanted to always open school, not because of this strike. Bright made it clear. It is ASU that refused.
No. Both sides refuse. Let's get it clear. Now, government said schools are open, but we will not use anything other than IPPIS. What does that mean? You can go and be farmers if you like. We don't care.
It wasn't looking up.
We
Mr.
don't
Lawson.
care. It's
There is
IPPIS.
no painting this one. It wasn't looking up.
See, understand something. Government itself has not said they are accepting the ASU own. Rather, they said they are dropping IPPIS. You understand? So
there are rumors. There are rumors that. I mean, what's his name now? Ngige came out and said they might be picking up UTAS. Yeah, they might be adopting UTAS as replacement.
Don't forget
for IPPIS.
When he was presenting, you see, they just had an agreement. The president, when he was presenting the budget, said IPPIS it remains. It goes nowhere. He's not removing it. So they've just agreed. Then the NYC too.
So are you saying the federal government wants to scam ASU?
No, we would know after the
No, you
meeting
said
now.
they just agreed. So I want to know. Are you saying federal government wants to scam?
No, they will agree. Definitely they have to see. Government, one major function of government is to resolve issues, solve problems in the society. So government has to solve this problem.
Okay.
The government cannot sit and allow it to continue.
Okay.
So whatever time it takes government to resolve it, government has resolved it.
Okay.
But linking it to the people don't understand. Government is not helpless. If government want to end that protest, government, even with simple tear gas, protest will end. I'm telling you, it's
But
not
that's what I said. Government does not want to look like the bad guy, the bad parent, does not want to look like the bad boy. So they are strategizing some other way.
No, that's wrong. We can't make it look like they have the right to do that in a democratic dispensation.
All your demand. Government said, give me time to, it's bureaucracy. It's not a quiz. Something government will give me time to do this. And you say, no, you want to be on the street. Does it make any sense to you? Well,
if you're not seeing actions.
See, government, do you think it will take 10 days, 20 days? Are they going to stay on the street for 3 months?
No, it will give them
both of you are activists for whatever group. I don't know. I'm going to let you go right now. Thank you very much. 95.1 FM. What's your name? Where are you calling in from?
Hello, Canada.
What's your name?
He's Fred. I want to ask Lawson a question.
Lawson has gone now. Lawson has gone. How do you want to ask?
Brutality is the problem that Nigerians are facing. Is it only SARS brutality? See, if you want to go to my one, you will possibly reach my one, probably to branch. This is the time. The whole thing will be stopped. It's not only SARS matter. Nigerian youth are waking up. They are waking up. Not going back.
All right.
Those who are betraying us, this is the time to go after them. No time to wait.
Okay.
They should see it. You can come.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Somebody is warning me. They said I should stop giving you more time. We would have to come to an agreement, whether it's Utah's time or IPPI's time we'll be using when you call in. It's like we're giving you too much time there. 95.1 FM, what's your name? Where are you?
Canada.
Yes. Amusu Chima.
Amusu Chima, calling from Port Harcourt.
Good afternoon, Chima.
Canada, I'm disappointed at Lawson, honestly.
Let's leave everything we are fighting against.
No problem, Canada. Without training, swap. Yes, sir. Swap without training. The process are came up with.
FSARS that will be saying they want SARS until they feel the pain of the masses. Those anti-protest people, they are working will they feel the pain of the masses. Those anti-protest people, truth is that the youth I could not understand. At Geo going back to Facebook. Okay, I can't read these comments. But thank you nonetheless for sending those comments. Thank you very much. Well, do you have final words?
All right. Activist or not, talking about...
Mobina, over to you. Good afternoon.
Football is a leisure game.
Sports is actually my job.
Football is boring.
That's not true. It's way more important than that.
What a wonderful goal! Fantastic strike!
As far as I'm concerned, sports.
Today's Sports Life. 3 p.m. For all you need to know in the world of sports.
Blessers, 25 years old. I'm a striker. Playing for right now.
Pending sports stories. All on FM Port. Viens faire la folie, on t'invite à la magie, y'a pas de raccourci, oublie tes soucis.
A fine afternoon to you. Welcome to today's Sports Life. This beautiful, very exciting day, but much more.
Mesut Ozil, the man who brought quite appreciable success to us now after joining in 2013. For a then club record fee of £43 million, won 2 FA Cups with the club under then manager Arsene Wenger. But things are not going his way these days to Mesut Ozil as he clocks 32 today.
Well, see the team.
No, it's quite some successes, yeah.
Okay, that's according to you. No, it's according to you because some people on the other side do not really as now we are doing some good work, some things that I think is notable our dictionary and our diaries as sports administrators and sport. Is Mesut Ozil the Arsenal Ozil issues talking about how to play the man. Remember Ozil came under Arsene Wenger. Maybe he has best of ideas as to deal with. I'll just touch it briefly, but tomorrow maybe we'll spend more time on that particular one. This and a whole lot more will be coming your way on the show this afternoon. The show is packaged to be interactive, so you can join us on any of our feedback platforms. For SMS or WhatsApp is 0701 9339 962. I'll take it again, 0701 9339 962. For the WhatsApp portal is still the same number, and for your Twitter, you can tweet at us at TodayFM951. That is at TodayFM951. My handle is at wisdom_OB. That is at wisdom_OB. And I will be reading your tweets real time here on the show. The phone lines will be opened also later on for you to get your thoughts real time here in the building. We'll touch the domestic transfer England, but I think we'll have time for that one tomorrow. But let's move on and start off with athletics. All right, long jump sensation Ese Brume has accused the Athletics Federation of Nigeria and the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development of not helping the country's athletes in their quest to win laurels for Nigeria, and called for improved support to enable athletes prepare well ahead of next year's Olympic Games in Tokyo. Three-time African champion Brume is one of Nigeria's Olympics and solidified her prospects for a podium place when she won Nigeria's only medal at the World Athletics Championships in Doha, Qatar last year, claiming bronze in the women's long jump event with a mark of 6.91 meters. It is the first time Nigeria has won a medal at the competition since 2013. A feat in Doha, Brume says, can be replaced reading AFN and Sports Ministry begin reverse years of non-support and start placing athletes' welfare and development first. Let's hear from Mr. Brume.
To the ministry and also to the federation that they should try to support us, because really they are not helping. But God has made it possible for me, and I believe that by the grace of God, He will make it possible for the others as well. But I want them to improve on their support for us, because they are not helping us at all.
There are a few areas that define a man, like sports.
I think we can live with that.
All right. Well, Sebrume's call follows the consistent, inadequate preparations and poor welfare of the country's athletes, especially before and during major tournaments, with the AFN citing paucity of funds in most cases. Meanwhile, Nigerian track legend Gloria Alozie has opened up about the reasons. Is she really a Nigerian track legend? Why she dumped her birth country to compete for Spain, explaining that her decision was born out of pragmatism rather than a frustration with Nigeria's notoriously woeful athletics ecosystem. Alozie won silver for Nigeria at the Sydney Olympics in the 100-meter hurdles before eventually switching nationality to Spain, for whom she won a gold medal at the 2002 European Championships. Alozie switched to representing Spain after obtaining Spanish citizenship in 2001, was viewed by many Nigerians as yet more evidence of the decay in Nigerians' athletics, where a notorious lack of basic welfare routinely forces athletes to switch nationalities in order to truly maximize their careers. Now, while that may have been the case with her back in 2001, Alozie points out other pragmatic considerations also contributed to her deciding to fly Spain's flag at international competitions.
Before changing my nationality, I was already living in Spain. I had my club there, my coach, and there were some certain things I wasn't really enjoying as a Nigerian. So, for example, with my club, there are number of athletes, maybe the foreign athletes. For example, I'm just giving you an instance that can run for the club. So there were many things. So for me to really fit in, as since my job, my career, my future were there, so I really needed to get that nationality because it really helped me a lot in my career.
All right, let's start with the First Lady, not the First Lady of the country, but the First Lady Brume. She talked about the fact that the Sports Ministry and the AFN, they are not helping matters. Chidubem, first, let me get your thoughts. What are your what did you pick out from what Ese Brume said?
Well, I would just say same old. It's been the issue of our federations right from, ab initio, like they would say, right from time. We've always been having complaints about athletes not being taken proper care of, but it's not, stopped her from going on to make glories for herself. And it's not the way it's supposed to be, honestly. We are supposed to take care of our athletes. We beat around these issues time and time again. And because it's not going, it doesn't seem to be leaving the scene. That's why we keep talking about it, and we'll keep talking about it until we see obvious changes. Yes, one of those changes came in the form of the sports minister introducing this, the Adopt an Athlete thing, which we did see come at initiative, and a few other athletes as well gain from that. But I think generally there has to be a more holistic approach towards this. It's not just about Adekore, it's not just about the big boys out there who can afford to attract some of these sponsorships. How about the small boy down there in the streets of Port Harcourt who has nobody to look up to, who is just waiting for one competition or one sports festival to represent his state? Who takes care of him? Who pays his bills and all that? So there should be an actual plan to grow sports in the country. That's lacking. We only wait for those major events or mega events now, and we go around picking one or two persons, or maybe establishing them to help us to rescue gold medals or silver medals at the local scene, and then try to transport them outside for those bigger events and see how they can squeeze the best out of them to get the results. But it's not been working so far. You can't give what you don't have. I keep saying, if you don't train these athletes, definitely you will not get 100% out of them, and we need to start doing that. Train them to the best of their abilities, give them proper planning and the proper equipment, the proper requirements that they will need now to blossom. You give you everything. That's why you find a few of them going out and doing very well for themselves. You ask yourself, what exactly is the difference? It's just the way they have been taken care of. I mean, there's a saying we say, now the name where you give your dog, now you go answer. So it's how you treat a human. That's how it's going to come out there. If you don't give them the best of treatment, definitely they're not going to come out with the best. And as a Brume, it's not the first time she's making such a comment. In fact, she's becoming a broken record these days, with the way she's been saying. It's not a bad thing. It just tells you that it's something that is quite terrible. We shouldn't be saying this all over and all over again. If she's saying this year in, year out, and nothing seems to be done, that means there's a problem. If our top athletes can be making these cries every other time, then the AFN needs to come, to our aid. And it's so sad that the AFN that she's even crying to has not even been able to put their house together. I mean, who is the president of the AFN these days? You don't even know. It's a cracked house, properly cracked house, this dissected house. You don't even know what's going on there. And it's a shame. They say when you strike the shepherd, the sheep will suffer. And that's exactly what we're saying here. The minister is in a land of his own. COVID-19 hasn't even helped the matters. When the Olympics come back, it's going to be a case of fire brigade approach. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe 1 month to the events, we start rushing our athletes and forcing them to have those high intensity trainings. Meanwhile, we should have dragged this thing over a long while and gotten the best out of them. Not really good for the sports and not good for the players. Yeah.
Well, if not that this was a sports show, I'd have asked you what is actually working in this country. I usually ask in sports shows. In my humble years in this industry, we only talk about the issues and the solutions. But nobody actually asks, do we have the capacity to do these solutions we actually talk about? Like the Britons are doing, like the Americans are doing, especially when it comes to preparing their athletes. Do we have the capacity to put those kind of infrastructures in place?
What will it cost? The capacity is there, it's overwhelming. In fact, we have more than the capacity we need to do that. What will it cost to set up proper structure? It's just the willpower now. That's what's lacking.
That's part of exactly. The capacity. Do we have the manpower? Do we have the resource persons? Do we, not just the money, in quotes. Do we have people who can actually maintain facilities? Because it's not to build. No, we built millions, billions of dollars now in facilities.
Yeah.
But the management, after that year, after 6 months or 3 months, the next time you go there, the state, it will be in comatose if there's anything to even write home about from that particular facility.
Exactly. That's why I said the willpower is lacking. You need to have that willpower to set these things in place, because when there is the willpower, then you understand that you need to institutionalize organizations, the sports organizations. Now, it shouldn't just be a one-off things, because the reason our sport is really soft is because we have a case where, most of the sports or the athletes now are relying heavily on the government, and you can't rely on the government at all times and expect good results, because you are at the mercy of a good government. If you have a bad government, so to speak, or a government that's not interested in sports, more like, the sport is going to suffer. I mean, look at states that have been doing well in the so-called, what's the name now? National Sports Festival. Most times there are states that, the governments, consecutive governments now have shown interest in sports, vested interest in sports. It just takes one good, sport-loving governor to change the fortunes of a sports setup, so to speak, in the state. And it shouldn't be the case. We should have an institution that, even if the government is leaving, we have it, you have it embedded, more like as maybe in the constitution or something, embedded that this has to be the way to go for consecutive governments. It doesn't matter if a new government is coming in. For instance, you have a plan to pay athletes. It shouldn't be something that the Minister of Sports is going to do. Maybe Sunday Darina is saying today that he's going to adopt, bring out an initiative to adopt an idea, and then you go to the National Assembly and say, please, I've come with this idea. I need it to be enacted as a law, initiative running, up and running every other time. Adopt an athlete. But that's not the case most times. It's just most times the idea of the incumbent. They come and bring in lofty ideas sometimes not so lofty, and then we run with it. The next government comes and we are back to square one. So it just takes that willpower. We talk about the fact that sometimes this stadia, in some cases, the courts are built, the facilities, indoor halls, sporting halls or complexes now are built, but over time they're not taken care of. It's still that matter of the willpower. Most times the federations are there. What exactly is their work? You have to supervise these things. You don't have to just, pay lip service to your work. Be serious about it. These properties are given to you. You are supposed to take care of them. You have your budget for every year. I'm sure every sports ministry has their budget every other year. What are you doing with the budget? That's where the selfishness will come in, the transparency will come in. So sports is a part of the Nigerian system. I don't know why I keep saying that, but when the whole is rotten, so to speak, or there are issues with the whole, you can't take away a bit of it and expect it to be good. The sports is suffering from the whole system. It is not a good thing. We can start fixing it now, and that's exactly why we are talking. We talk because we want these things to be fixed. We have been seeing good signs in some angles, and those are the signs we want to work on and see how we can spread them as a whole to see holistic change in the sporting industry, and not just in the sporting industry, but in Nigeria as a whole.
All right. Lamide George, Ibrahim Guzo, writing letters there now to the bigger bodies. The politics of the sports here in Nigeria sometimes affects their politics. I mean, there is politics in Europe and in America and in other parts of Africa, but shouldn't always interfere with our sports. But be that as it may, we do wish Sebruma and the others all the best. The Olympics comes up next year in Tokyo. The sports minister, Sunday Dari, announced yesterday that all remaining restrictions on sports will be lifted soon. The minister's declaration via his Twitter handle comes amid heightened dissatisfaction with the continued ban of contact sports, even as most sectors of the country has been opened up after the coronavirus occasioned national lockdown. Sports in Nigeria was shut down in March as the COVID-19 pandemic raged, but the country recently granted permission for the resumption of non-contact sports as infection figures dropped. The government opened up the economy. However, while virtually all aspects of national and economic life have returned to a semblance of normalcy, all contact sports remains banned with no timelines for its resumption. Hopes that football, along with all the non-contact sports, will resume before the end of this year were dashed when the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 reiterated last month that no plans were in the offing for lifting restrictions. Now, amid heightened clamor by athletes and stakeholders, administrators for the resumption of non-contact sports, Dari assured the sports ministry has set in motion all requirements necessary to lift restrictions whilst ensuring strict compliance to all COVID-19 prevention protocols. I'll quote him, he says, "We are hopeful that the reopening of all sports will be shortly upon us," Dari wrote on Twitter. The ministry has done all that's necessary and required, especially with regards to the COVID-19 protocols. The PTF, Health Ministry and NCDC have guided appropriately. A bit of patience, sports lovers. he added. Very long episode, but we are still in that chapter, or on that chapter where we don't know when next football is going to start. I'm going to look for that audio shortly, where the sports minister was saying that in 2 weeks' time, football will return. It's more than 2 weeks already, and he's telling us that everything is in motion to actually get it back. Needless to say, it doesn't depend on him.
Yeah, it doesn't actually. It depends more on the NCDC and, of course, the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19. They are the ones that are going to decide at the end of the day what happens with the resumption of football and other contact sports. But his own beat is just to lobby and see how to, convince them that perhaps it's time we got back to playing football or got back to other sports that we love to see. But I think you look at what's happening all over the world and you ask yourself what exactly is keeping us from resuming. Virtually all the countries we know about have resumed action when it comes to contact sports. I mean, we've had the privilege of seeing some of these high profile sports or sporting matches now. At this time, I will quickly come to your mind. Still in this period, football is fully back in Europe. Virtually all competitions, a matter of fact, in major European leagues are back, and Africa is not left out. South African League has been up for a very long time. Tunisia, Egypt, I mean, everybody is playing football. So what exactly is holding us in Nigeria? Maybe the money, we don't know, but you would also appreciate the fact that we are in peculiar times now, if you understand what I'm saying, in the country, with the protest and everything going on right now. It's quite a peculiar time, and maybe that could have caused a little delay in the resumption or the talks for a possible reopening of the stadia now for football to return, because you can't divorce one from the other. If the government's mind is distracted at this point or facing something else, you can understand that they will have to prioritize and all that. But I think generally it's just a matter of time at this point. It's not just football. I think clubs are yet to open, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
So
in Nigeria, where you pay money for free, no, they will send them home. Some clubs try to open.
No, I mean not sporting
you
clubs.
You mean those kind of clubs?
Yeah, okay. Regular nightclubs. I'm not sure
yet.
they are open yet.
Especially in River State.
It's a national thing, so I think it's just a matter of time. Schools have reopened already, and we've seen the hotels now open as well, hospitality services. So I think it's just a matter of time before football resumes appropriately.
All right. Before I play that sound, maybe ponder on this. For the MPFL fans, I've been seeing clubs buying players. At the NWFL, the Nigerian Women Football League, I read this morning, they had even gotten in 1 or 2 names into their ranks also. The basketball sides are also working. But all these sports I called, are they actually generating, are they actually that important to the economy that probably we need to defy all odds, like the guys in the United Kingdom, like they did, the people in Spain, because of the effect of football, for example, on the economy of Spain? But let's listen to Sunday Dario. The last time he said that in 2 weeks' time, football would resume.
We hope in the next 2 weeks, contact sports can also return, subject to the strict adherence to COVID-19 protocols.
All right, contact sports, and that includes football, basketball, and the others. But, Chidubem?
The importance of football or sports
in
now,
Nigeria,
sports to Nigeria, I don't think you can compare
economically.
You can't actually compare it to what is obtainable in the UK, for instance, when it comes to revenue. We all know that football is one of the biggest drivers of revenue in the United Kingdom, England especially now. The Premier League is such a huge brand, brings in billions of European pounds and of British pounds now, and it's something that you don't just handle with kid gloves. You could say the same for other countries as well. Not maybe not as big as what you have in England, but I mean, you've got the US with so much coming in from the sporting industry and other big weights now in America and also in Europe over there, even in Asia these days. The sporting brand is becoming a bigger one in Asia as well. So you look at Africa, South Africa, Egypt, Algeria, they have some good revenue from sports coming in as well. But in Nigeria, it's not particularly the case, especially if you examine the waters we are around now in some of the big federations. Football, for instance, no sponsorship deals right now in the MPFL, so that definitely will affect. But the NFF has definitely got money coming in. Players who travel out definitely will bring returns, revenue to the state, and of course the country. But what is most important now, as a country, as a president or a leader, one of your paramount duties is to see to the welfare of every one of your citizens. So if one Nigerian shouldn't be happy ordinarily, and you have so many families who earn their daily bread, who earn their means of livelihood, or whose means of livelihood now is football or basketball or one or two of the sports. And it's not just about the players themselves. You have people who sell around the stadium, for instance. You have those who make the t-shirts. You have those who have one or two businesses around the stadium. No, of course.
Because we are searching for the t-shirts, we can't find them.
It doesn't mean that there are not people out there whose job is to make them.
Continue.
Okay, so there are lots of people whose livelihoods are tied, to the sporting sector. So if they don't resume, it means that you are basically crippling those household economies. Now, imagine what will happen to a player now in Neimba, for instance, or Rivers United, whose family, depends on him. The wife, the children, perhaps, and even extended family depend on you for survival. What happens when that person is no longer playing football, when he's no longer earning salaries and all that, when he's no longer earning those additional bonuses, match bonuses that would have helped him to move on? So these things are the, micro indicators, micro things that will affect households, and you cannot just close an eye because it does not really hit big on the macro picture, on the entire picture as Nigeria now. It doesn't affect us much, so we just close an eye to it. It doesn't work that way. You keep the whole happy as much as you keep the little bits of your country, the little in quotes now, the other citizens that you ordinarily think don't contribute more, but you have to look at each and every part. That's why we have a ministry called the Ministry of Sports. You don't neglect it. You take care of it as you take care of and just any other sector out there. But I think generally it's just about the time we give to sports. I think if we treat sports the way other countries are treating it, we're going to get the best out of it. You ask yourself, why is sports suffering? You also ask yourself too, what are we giving to sports? You can't, deny me feeding and expect me to grow. It's when you feed a human that is going to grow to the extent.
You think they've not been fed enough financially?
No, it's not enough to feed financially.
From Nigeria at zero.
It's not enough to feed financially, and we've not even fed financially compared to what is obtainable out there. Okay. It's not just about financial this thing, like I said. It's about the supervision, the checks and balances.
Exactly. So it's still the people you're coming to. Not just capacity earlier.
So capacity is that the capacity is there. Is when you put it into action that is the problem. The capacity is always
capacity
there.
Also includes human resources. Do we have the men who can actually carry this out?
Of course we have them.
Do.
That they are not doing the work doesn't mean that we don't have men that can do them. It's just like saying I don't have. Maybe I could have the capacity to beat you, but you end up beating me at the end of the day because I've not trained enough to be able to beat you. But I have the capacity to do that. So I think at the end of the day, it's just about the attention we give to sports. Treat it the right way. If you treat sports the right way, the way it is treated out there in other countries, monitor it properly, feed it the way it's supposed to be fed, checks and balances put in place, make sure there is a plan to consistently grow the industry, and take out those loopholes and those bad eggs that won't want for the industry to move up, then I think it's just a matter of time before we get to where we are getting. I mean, you can pick out individual federations and look at the progress they are making. That tells you that it's not the sports industry as a whole, but it's just about what exactly you're feeding them with. Look at the Wrestling Federation, for instance. With the little Daniel Igali is doing there, we can see the progresses
so they are making so far.
It's about the people. It's about the
when you say feeding, most times everybody's mind goes to
it's not
what
just
are
money.
You giving? What are you investing into sports?
Investment is not money. That's
in
what I'm
terms
saying.
of cash.
It's not
maybe
just
provisions
about money.
for tournaments.
But money is a huge factor. But it's not just about money. If you just put money and go to sleep, your money is going to go to waste because there are people there who want to just devour the money and move on. But you have to put in the money, get the structures on ground. The money is there to give you the structures. The money is there to make it easier for you to
you're
cruise
referring
through.
to the minister to do this, the minister?
It's not just about the minister. The minister
is about
not,
Nigerians.
The minister is not the AFM president. The minister is not Amaju Pinnick. The minister is not the basketball head. So there are heads of different sporting, activities in Nigeria. They should do the talking. Dan Gali is not the minister of sports. He's doing his bit. So it's not just about the minister of sports. If the various heads get to work, then gradually, collectively, we'll have the sports going again.
All right, that's the big if. If the sports heads would decide to actually get to work. But let's get to hear from you now. 0817 0000951 0810 951 951. We've talked about Ese Brume, who says the sports ministry, they are not doing enough in terms of preparations for Nigeria's athletes, and is affecting us. Gloria Alozie also came up to say, I moved to Spain because I knew once I take their nationality or maybe the citizenship or what have you, it would help me improve my career. Well, she went on to do some fine things too globally. And we've also talked about the sports minister who says sports will return, or football rather, which is non-contact sports anyway, will return anytime soon. That we should just be a little bit patient. Maybe in few weeks or months, he didn't specify, would have it back. But what are your thoughts on all these stories we've brought out already? Today's Sports Live, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. Obuna calling from Port Harcourt.
Obuna, welcome to the show.
On the issue raised by lack of training for the athletes, is there any time we've performed optimally to prepare our athletes when it comes to events? They always do most of the trainings themselves. You either have issues of when you release the funds, somebody has fixed it, somebody has delayed their match allowance or their training bonuses and every cap allowance. On the lady going out to Spain, that's one of the best things you can do for yourself. Now, at a time when the country is not organized, you tell somebody to be patriotic, whereas you, who is at the helm of affair, you are not doing things to help them become patriotic. Just play for England, even if it's one cap. I'm sure you know what entitlement they are. That's why most times you look at the likes of Bukayo Saka, they have played as they answer the call for England. You don't expect them to come here.
Okay. Seems we lost you right there. Today's Sports Live, good afternoon.
Superman.
Hey, lost in the controversial one. Welcome.
I thought it was a maker who gave me that name. I know nothing about it.
It's part of you now, part of your names. Go ahead.
I don't know. Greetings. Superman, I think he should wake up and smell the coffee. I don't know what he's looking for. There's no money anywhere, you understand? Even just as Chidibem said, the Athletics Federation, who is even heading it? They are going to go the other day.
Lamidi George now.
Ministry. Abraham independent, does it also include finance? Does he have the finance? You understand? And the sports ministry has just prepared some stand. Is it 3 stand or 4 stand to go to Supreme Court to go and vacate that judgment from the appeal court. Nobody can see that is happening. And he's looking for money. He cannot get that. Let us see. Most of these athletes in UK, America, everywhere, they have 2, 3, 4, 5 sponsors. Sorry, just an athlete. Why is it that here in Nigeria, our own, they don't have any sponsors? So for me, I don't know. She can go to Bahrain. You understand? What is she waiting for? Let her leave the country, go to Bahrain, and then get something. And please, we are not ready for contact sports. We are. You can see what's happening now. I am even praying that we don't have another wave of lockdown. Look at. So for me, we don't need to start any contact sports for now because we don't have the capacity.
All right, Lawson. Thank you so much for your thought. Today's Sports Live. Good afternoon to you.
I greet you people with all. No, I'm not that far. I greet you people.
Honorable BB Palliative.
Greetings.
Welcome to the show.
More money to your account, but not forget to bring tithe.
Tithe, no problem.
When I chop knuckle.
Chop on.
Chop knuckle, welcome. Go ahead with your contribution.
Like what the sports caller asked you, have we ever been prepared when it comes to sports in this country? Now, we will say no money. But when it's time for this, we expect to go and beat everybody and win gold. Not be so? You say no money to prepare, but yet you want to go and compete at the highest level, and you expect those same people who are competing with persons who have been training for things from the past Olympics, who have been preparing for the next Olympics for 4 years. You expect them to overcome those by fire, by fire, by thunder. It's not they work that way. It doesn't work that way. Now you want to ask yourself, look at our athletes that normally maybe they go outside and try to represent other countries. Look how they perform. Nigerian man, ordinarily, we are good in sport. We are good in everything. Only if everything is being made available for us to use. Look at Egali. Egali was nowhere to be found in Nigeria, but he went to Canada and look what he did. Olympic champion, world champion. Same as other people been doing. They've been doing like that everywhere.
All right.
But when you come here, nobody wants to give you anything, but they expect you to bring the best.
All right,
oh my God, it's very funny. So as far as I'm concerned, if we don't, they say if you prepare to, if you
fail to.
I will remind me later what we see here.
All right, Bibi, thank you so much for your thoughts. Today Sports Live, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon to you. How are you doing? And Joseph, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We're good. Welcome to the show, Albert.
To be honest, I think I'm so highly disappointed the way we give attention to sports in the country. We didn't have a good hospitality in sports, and I think we should know that sports in this world is a very good investment. Look at China and then Japan and America. Do you know how much that they used to get, the money that used to come to the sports ministry? So these are the things we should check. You understand? And the kind of preparation we used to give to them is not good enough. That's why each time they flew out for global sports fiesta, we go there with our flags to go and embarrass the whole nation.
All right.
The preparation wasn't good enough.
Okay.
So I think they should come back and see how they will structure our sports in the country. If it's time of 70s and 80s, you can never see what we do in Africa, even in the world. But now, we can't find ourselves in African maps. Understand? Look at Egypt and South Africa. They have pushed us apart. So I don't know where we're going now. So I think they should come back and see what we can do. They should go back to the drawing board.
All right, Albert.
The other that we didn't do very well.
All right, Albert. Thank you so much for your contribution. Today Sports Live, good afternoon.
Yeah, beautiful afternoon to you.
Sella West, welcome to the show.
Yeah, Joko, I greet you.
Good afternoon, Sella West.
Yeah. You see, the problem here is we don't have a sports lover in the presidency. Because if we have a man who loves sports over there, the sports will be promoted. You see, the way they sponsor political events in Nigeria, if they spend half of it in sports, our athletes will not be complaining. Even when they will release the money lately, the person that will get the money will put it in a fixed deposit for it to accrue some certain money before releasing the money. You see, such like Olympics now, we've not started preparation. Maybe 3 months to the event now, they will do a fire brigade. You know, that's the way we run sports here. And we want our athletes to win a medal in Olympics. You know, it's very funny. So I think what they should do is just remain like, what do you call a status quo. Let the contact sport still remain the way it is. You know, because they are not promoting the sport there.
All right.
So if you cannot promote it, there is no way saying contact sport. Okay, look at the minister now. Said in 2 weeks' time, you know, sports will contact sport will resume, and now we've not seen it. This is to show that he's not in control. You know, not in control. The presidency, they don't love sports, and that is a problem.
All right.
Sports is one of the things that unites Nigeria. They could have used that loophole to invest in sports, because if any Nigerian now is appearing in Olympics game, we don't say whether it's from south or southeast or whatever. It's in Nigeria. If Super Eagles is playing, Muslim, Christian, everybody is jubilating. So they could have used that means to, you know, invest in sports. You know, so that is why I see it.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Sella West, for your thoughts. Chidubem, we have some messages from the portal.
Yes, the WhatsApp portal. This one says there's a fundamental problem with sports in Nigeria. A total overhaul is needed. I agree the sports ministry isn't doing enough. That's coming from Uche Donaldson from Port Harcourt. And this one says, good afternoon, guys. Super Cup played between Champions League winners and Europa Cup winners is a trophy to you. The Cups vied for in Spain, Italy, Germany, and France, and others between their leagues champions and cup winners are trophies to you. When Arsenal wins Community Shield, it's not a trophy to you because it is Arsenal. But when Manchester United and Chelsea trophies are counted, Community Shield becomes a trophy. Even winning the FA Cup by Arsenal is never counted worthy, but that is what Manchester United have won in many years, and they were hailed highly when they did it. Why these double standards? That question is coming from Chinedu from Rupoku.
Sure, that was coming to me. One call and we move on and talk about Arsene Wenger. Today Sports Live. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Modinaka calling you from Akaya.
Modinaka, let's hear you.
See, do you know it's actually wrong to do a particular thing over and over again and expect a different result? That has always been our approach when it comes to whether you call it football, you call it athletics, you call it whether judo, any sport at all.
All right.
You have to spend money so you get. It's like we're going to compete with others who've done a lot. It's like we are mocking nature. Without sowing, you want to reap. It's wrong. Everything about our sports ministry is highly political. Those who will deliver will not be allowed to run the place. The sports in Nigeria has the capacity to also give us funds and develop the economy as it's in the other as seen in other countries. But we will never do it. We'd rather just sit and speculate, and when it's time for sports, you start calling God like other people are worshiping Satan.
Okay. Go on. All right. I mean that caught me because most times, if we didn't pray before we start, we can even go back and say, referee, wait, let's go and pray first. But let's move on
very
and talk
valid
about
points from him there. Very, very, very valid. I mean, it's just the case. You don't give in and you expect to get.
Yes, exactly.
You can't cheat nature. You
So
can't
you
give
want
what
to
you don't
so.
have. Of course, you have to give when you put in, and it's obvious you've put in the efforts. Definitely, it's going to work. It's like 1 + 1. You know, if you invest in sports, definitely you get back from them. We've done it before and we've seen the results, so it should teach us lessons.
Okay, Arsene Wenger revealed it is quite simple to get the best from Mesut Ozil. It seems like it's going to be an Arsenal afternoon, but from the Community Shield now we're talking about Ozil. Now the former Arsenal manager signed the playmaker from Real Madrid in 2013, but has been frozen out on the current boss, Mikel Arteta. Ozil wants to stay in North London until his contract expires at the end of the season, but Arteta doesn't want him, having not fielded the German ace even once since March. Mesut Ozil is a great player and a creative player, but you have to balance the team because on the defensive side of it, it is not his strength. He needs freedom to express his talents. He does the work, but he's not very efficient. Mikel Arteta has gone for a team with counter-pressing and who play high up, and everybody has to work hard, so that it's a bit of a handicap for him. But he's not a bad character. He's a good guy. It just depends what kind of football you want to play. Now, signed from Real Madrid for £42 million in 2013, Wenger loved the skill possessed by Ozil and together won 2 FA Cups. Mesut Ozil is a guy in the back. First example, he can give you the ball. It didn't stop him being a world champion with Germany and being a key player. Always the problem of the manager is how you can balance the team offensively and defensively. Dubem, I have a feeling you agree with everything Wenger said, but let me ask you. He started with describing Mesut Ozil, coming into Arsenal, the problems around, and he then talked about what he feels is the reason why Mikel Arteta is keeping him on the bench.
I think what he has said is not special in the sense that it's an open secret. Virtually everyone who follows football knows that Mesut Ozil is sitting on the bench because he doesn't fit into the style of Mikel Arteta, and of course the style of most modern day coaches. You know, most of the crop of coaches we are seeing these days have opted for the counter pressing, be it game pressing or the normal high end pressing. You know, pressing high up the pitch. It's something that was popularized by Guardiola, in his term, and then Jurgen Klopp took it to another level. We saw Tottenham under Pochettino do a bit of it as well. So it's something that has come to stay in football. Counter pressing. We are no longer in the days where it was all about the midfield, defensive midfielders now sitting back, and of course one creative attacking midfielder sits just ahead of them doing the magic and doesn't really need to care much about defensive duties. I mean, the likes of Ronaldinho, the likes of Kaká, Mesut Ozil himself, Cesc Fabregas at some points, Mario Götze, even Juan Mata with Manchester United these days. You look at James Rodriguez as well. These players are suffering right now because most of the clubs, most of the managers these days don't want that player who is not putting in the hard work, especially when you're playing a counter press, because it's going to work like the name is saying, counter. Now it's going to be counterproductive to your team when you have that player up there who is not putting in the work. And then if he's dispossessed of the ball, it means that it puts your team in a precarious position. And that's not what an Arteta will want for us now at this point. That's exactly why I think Mesut Ozil isn't featuring in this current Arsenal setup. It's not because he's a bad player. It's not because he can't give you good performances. I think he's heads and shoulders Arsenal's most creative player. By far, he is. You look at the current bunch they've had. They have Dani Ceballos, Granit Xhaka. I mean, who do you want to look to when you want to talk about creativity that you will count ahead of Mesut Ozil? But it's just basically about the fact that he doesn't fit into the pattern. And when you don't fit into a puzzle, no matter how it works, you can't fit in. You can't put a square peg in a round hole, like we say. You have to be shaping it if you have to do that. And Mesut Ozil has not shown signs of changing into something different. I mean, we've seen some players rediscover themselves. Kevin De Bruyne, for instance, he used to be one of those kind of players who were basically creative players, but somehow he had to rediscover himself or reinvent his self now to become, put in the hard work as well, put in the running arounds as well, to be able to fit into this modern kind of football which demands so much activity off the ball as he does on the ball. And Mesut Ozil hasn't shown signs of doing that yet. Under Unai Emery was evident, even continued under Hjulmberg, and then under Arteta with the few chances he got to play. So I don't think it's something that will change anytime soon. Mesut Ozil will likely leave Arsenal by next summer. So it's just basically counting down to his departure. But I think Arsene Wenger, the legendary manager of Arsenal right now, is hot on. He's not said anything that is out of picture, but the truth is just what it is. Mesut Ozil will not feature on this Arsenal side. Likely not. If he features, it's going to be one of the 7 wonders of the world. But under Arteta, it's obvious that he's not going to be a part of his plans because of his kind of play and the type of style that the manager has adopted. Not because Mesut Ozil is a bad player. He's never been a bad player. He's just a victim of change.
All right, I would ask you now, Dubem, you're an Arsenal fan, and I know you followed this from the onset. Is it just because of Ozil's playing style that keeps him on the bench, or there could be other matters? Or reasons, rather?
Well, I would think that the primary matter, that caused the whole Ozil situation on the bench first is because of the style. There were talks when Unai Emery came into the saddle after Arsene Wenger left. He tried to, give him the chance to play, but after some time, it was evident that it's not going to work because Unai Emery did the counter pressing thing, and it's difficult to have an Ozil in that setup. He will always be caught off guard. He will always be dispossessed of the ball because you have a lot of running around happening, and it's not just about Arsenal. Other teams in the Premier League are beginning to play that style, and when you have teams running at you, you can't be Mesut Ozil and function in that kind of setup. You would be a missing piece, and that's why he fell off the pecking order, and that culminated into some other things. Off the pitch now, you can't. It's separate from what happened on the pitch. We know his issues. The issues off the pitch are well documented. He's going to Turkey, supporting the Kurdish and all that. But that's, by the way, that's off football. We've seen. Right. I mean, Gundogan was part of that movement, but he's not. He didn't suffer more from Man City because he does his own talking on the pitch as well. But I think Mesut Ozil, the major issue he's suffering is not because of what happened outside the pitch or the issues with pay cuts and all that. The primary reason why he's not going to feature in this Arsenal setup is because of his style. He's a good player, like I said, but he's not just the right piece in this Arteta's puzzle, in the modern day football puzzle, which demands so much hard work, so much running around from players.
The Red Mists descended on England last night as Denmark ran out 1-0 winners in their Nations League clash at Wembley. What did you actually learn from that one? It was Christian Eriksen whose penalty on his 100th appearance for Denmark and their side, the 1-0 win over the English team. And former Tottenham Hotspur midfielder Eriksen powered his spot kick past Jordan Pickford in the 35th minute. And one man who has been in the reports for the wrong reasons, talking about Harry Maguire, He was actually sent off. And there is no doubt that was a game-changing moment. The defender deservedly picked up 2 bookings for a pair of poorly timed tackles that left England up against it. But let me just come to the results now. Other results we had yesterday. Now, to keep pressure on Portugal, Antoine Griezmann and Kylian Mbappe helped the French national team to beat Croatia 2-1, and goals from Bernardo Silva and a double from Diogo Jota,